In this video, I will show you how to write the equation of a graph into standard form. So let's begin by reviewing how to tell the slope from looking at the standard form equation. So this first example, we have 3x minus 2y equals 8. The equals 8 part doesn't really matter. So here's how you get the slope. We have a 3, so I'm going to write 3 over 2. And you see this negative changes to positive. For this next example, we see this 2, so 2 will be on the top, and it will be over 5, and this positive change to negative, so negative 2 over 5. This third example, we have 7 over here, we have nothing here, so that's a 1. So we have 7 over 1, and this positive will change to negative. So negative 7 divided by 1, this is equal to simply negative 7. That's the slope. And for this last one, we can have a 1 in the front, so that's going to be a 1 over 6, and this negative change it to positive. So positive 1 over 6. Be careful, when you divide that, that's going to give you a decimal, so leave that as a fraction. For this example here, we want to write the equation of a line that has a slope of 5 over 2 and goes through the point x equal to negative 3 and y equal to positive 1. So we will begin by looking at the slope. Here's 5 over 2, so we know this is going to be a 5x and a 2y. Because the slope is positive, we're going to change the sign, so in between it's going to be a negative, so 5x minus 2y, and this is going to equal to something. And so all we need to do is now fill in the blank. So how do we know what that number is going to be equal to? Well, let's plug it into this equation. So we have 5 times x, so x is right here, negative 3. 5 times negative 3 minus 2 times y, which is 1. And let's see what this is equal to. 5 times negative 3 is going to be negative 15. Negative 2 times 1 is going to be negative 2. So this is equal to negative 17. So that means our equation is going to be 5x minus 2y equal to negative 17. And this is the equation in standard form. And now we will move on to graphs. So first thing, we need to find the slope. So looking at this graph, the slope is going to be negative, so I'm going to put a negative sign here. Find 2 points, and then do the rise over run. So the rise is going to be 3 up and down, and the run is going to be 2. So we have negative 3 over 2, rise over run, and this cannot be simplified, so we know that is going to be the slope. So now we know that the standard form equation is going to look like this. We have 3x, we have a 2y, and because the slope is negative, we know this is going to change to a plus in between the 3x and a 2y. And we just need to know what this is equal to. So to find what this is equal to, we just need to find a point that is on a line. It can be any point, but I want to use this one because this point gives me a 0. So x is 0, and y is negative 4. So I'm going to use this point to plug in to the 3x plus 2y. So 3 times x, which is 0, plus 2 times y, which is negative 4. So 3 times 0 is 0. 2 times negative 4 is going to be negative 8. 0 minus 8 is going to be negative 8. And so plugging this into the equation, so negative 8 equal to negative 8. And this is going to be the equation of the line in standard form. For this example, the slope is positive. From left to right, we see it's going up. So I'm going to write a positive sign to remember that the slope is positive. Finding 2 points on the graph to get the rise over run. So the rise is 1 and the run is 5. So we have 1 over 5, and that's positive. So looking at this, we know this is going to be a 1x and a 5y because the top is 1 and the bottom is 5 from the slope. But this positive, we change it to a minus, and we need to know what this is equal to. Okay, now let's find a point on the line. So we can use any point really. So for this one, I'm going to use the point 5, 0. So x is 5, y is 0. And I really like using points that have 0 for one of the coordinates because when we plug it in, it's very easy. So now we have 1 times x, which is 5, minus 5 times y, which is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. Negative 5 times 0 is going to be 0. So 5 plus 0, that's going to be a 5. So I'm going to plug that into here. So 1x minus 5y is equal to 5. And we know that if we have a 1 in front of the x, we really don't need that 1. We can just simply write x minus 5y equal to 5. And that's our equation in standard form. For this example, the slope we see is going to be a negative slope because it's going down from left to right. So let's go ahead and find 2 points. We can have one here and one here. So the rise is going to be 2. And the run is going to be 1. And looking at the slope, we know that the standard form equation is going to have a 2x because of the top and a 1y. But remember, we really don't need to put a 1 in front of that, but to make it easy to plug in, let's put a 1y. And this negative, change that to be a positive. It's going to equal to something. Okay, and then let's plug in a point. So this point is 0, 1. So the x is 0, the y is 1. So let's plug this in. 2 times x, so 2 times 0, plus 1 times y, so 1 times 1. That's the value of y. So 2 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 0 plus 1 is going to be 1. So our equation is going to be 2x plus 1y is equal to 1. And I can simplify this because if I have a 1 in front of a variable, that's unnecessary. So I can write 2x plus y is equal to 1. And that is the standard form equation.